When most people see a Rubik's Cube, people think it's impossible to solve. But in this tutorial, I will show you a method that even the top speedcubers use to get really fast times. This method, we call it as CFOP, C-F-O-P. Now you may be wondering, what does CFOP stand for? The CFOP stands for the four steps to solve a Rubik's Cube. The C stands for across, which can be done like this. F stands for F2L, which can be done like this. And O stands for OLL, which can be done like this. And P stands for PLL. And that's a Rubik's Cube solve. So get your Rubik's Cube and scramble it up as any way as you like, and follow these steps. The C stands for across. To make a cross, we will have a fixed color scheme, so it will be easier for you to learn. We will start by making the white cross. So what you need to do first is you need to find an edge piece that has white on it. For example, I can see this white and orange edge piece. The next thing you want to do is find a way to pair up the non-white edge first. So in this case, the white and orange, I can pair up the orange first. Then once that's done, you can now pair it up to the cross. Then we can find another piece that has white on it, and I see this white and red piece. And luckily in this scramble, this was already solved. So we can move on to the next one. Let's try doing the white and green one. The first things first is to pair it up with the green center. But after you get to maybe either the third or fourth cross edge, you may think that things will start to break up. For example, this red and white piece is already solved. But if we take this to pair it up, then it breaks up. In order to prevent this, in order to restore this edge, the red and white edge, we have to bring it back up. In order to bring it back up, we have to move this edge out of the way. So we can do two things at once. We can pair, so it pairs up this edge and this edge as well. Plus it also takes it out of this layer. So now we can restore. Now we just need one more edge, and then I see it over here. This one is the white and blue edge. So we need to align it with the blue, and then align it with the white. After you do that, you need to turn the cube upside down so that the yellow center is facing up. And this is where F2L comes in. F2L is probably the best way to do the first two layers, as it stands for the first two layers, but it also has some special cases which you need to be aware of. So first of all, you want to find an edge piece that has white on it. Let's say this green, red, and white edge piece. Next, you need to cover up the white and look at the other two colors. In my case, it would be the red and green. So I need to find the red and green edge, which happen to be down here. F2L consists of these steps. You must put them both in the top layer, then recognize their case, pair them up, and insert, like this. Then you need to do this 4 times to complete the first 2 layers. So to complete the first step, we need to bring both of them into the top layer. So the piece is over here, and this other piece is over here. So we can bring up to the top layer like this. But just like in the cross solution, that breaks up this cross edge piece. So what we can do is, we need to restore it by pulling this one down, which means both of these pieces cannot be over here. So we can take them out like this. Then we can restore. Now in each time after you do steps, you'll either get case 1, case 2, or case 3. Case 1 happens when you have the white piece that's either on the left or right, and then the corresponding edge. So in this case, my one would be the orange and blue one, which is over here. The top colors are different. When this happens, what you need to do is make sure that the white is never facing you. You want to look at this color, and you want to draw a line all the way to the back. If the piece is over here, that's good. But in this case, the piece is over here. So we need to put this piece over to this side. One way we can do it is by bringing this piece down out of the way, because we want to keep it where it is. So when we bring it back up, it goes like here. We can put it down, move this over here, and bring it back up. When doing that, the cross does not get damaged. So that's a good way if you want to set up case 1. After you do that, you want to look at the two colors. This is blue and orange, and you want to put it between the blue and orange centers. Then it's super simple. If it's on the right hand side, you can insert it like this. Case 2 happens when the white is on the left or right, but the corresponding edges, corner and edge, for example, this is the red and blue one, and this is also the red and blue one, is on the top the same color. When this happens, again, you will want to draw a line. So white is never facing you. You draw a line over here. If the piece is over here, then that's good, which it is. If it's not, for example, like this, then you could also follow the same procedure as in case 1. But make sure when you bring it down, this slot must be unsolved. Otherwise, it will break it up. So when I bring it down, this slot's unsolved, so I can use this slot. Bring it down, here, here. Then what you do is, make sure that the slot is unsolved. You bring it down. When you bring it back up, the piece will be here. So you want to bring this piece towards this piece, like this. Then when you bring it back up, they pair up. Next, you want to put it between the two centers, so the red and blue center in this case. And if it's on the left hand side, then you can insert it like this. Case 3 happens when white is on the top. When this happens, you want to find the other edge, which is over here, the corresponding ones. And the good thing about case 3 is that it's extremely easy to pair up. It does not matter which color is at the top, but you want to focus on the color that's on the side. If you see the color that's on the side, you want to pair it up with its center, like this. Then find this color and find its center, which is back over here, and you want to turn it away from it. After you turn it away, you can pair it up like this, then bring it back up. And then it's on the left hand side, so you can insert it in the 4 moves I showed you earlier. Once you finish the first 2 layers, you will get up to the last one. And this is where algorithms come in. Usually, we do something called OLL, which makes the whole entire top layer yellow, even though the edge pieces may not be solved. In total, there are over 50 algorithms, which can be hard for a first person to learn. So in this video, I will teach you something we call 2-look OLL, which reduces the amount of algorithms needed. The links for the full OLL sheet will be in the description below. Once you get to the final layer, you will either get a dot, an L shape, a line, or a cross if you ignore the centers. What we want to do is to try and make the yellow cross like we did on the white side. In order to do this, you need to know some algorithms. So first of all, here's some notation. Every time I say a move, that means to turn that face clockwise. If I say prime after the move, that means you want to turn it anti-clockwise. So for example, F means the front face. If you draw a clockwise direction, F will be like this. F prime will be counterclockwise. If I say R, that means you want to do the right side. The right side clockwise direction would be like this. R prime would be then this. U would be this. U prime would be anti-clockwise. L would be clockwise. And L prime would be anti-clockwise. So those are probably the 4 main things you just need to know so far. There are also some special occasions as well. If I say, and if the sheet says a lowercase, that means to turn both layers. So if I say lowercase f, it means to turn these 2 layers clockwise. And this is lowercase f prime. This is lowercase r prime. Lowercase l prime. And lowercase u prime. After you know all these, you can then apply these algorithms to any situation. So what you want to do first is to make the yellow cross. If you have a dot, hold it any way you want and do these moves, which will be shown up here. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And if you ignore the corners, you should get an L shape like this. If you have an L shape, then you could do this trick to immediately get to a cross. That is lowercase f, R, U, R prime, U prime, then lowercase f prime, and if you ignore the corners, you should have a cross. You might also get a line as well. When this happens, you want to hold the line horizontally, then do the first algorithm I showed you, which is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Once you get to the final layer and you have the cross, you should get 1 out of 7 cases. I will show all of them here. This case, some people call it fish, but the real name is soon. If you hold it like this, the corn and the fat square is at the bottom right, and you have this white yellow corner pointing to you, then you do this algorithm. If you also have a fish as well, but there is no yellow corner pointing to you, hold it the other way so that this side is pointing to you, and then do this. If you have just a cross edge and two yellow corners, we call them headlights, are at the front and at the back, then you do this. If you have a yellow cross and you have the headlights here, but the headlights are not at the back but they're on the sides, then you hold it so that the sides are facing you and it's on the right hand side, then you do this. If you have a nearly completed one and the yellow corners are on the side, then you hold on to the side like this, then you do this. If you have a bow tie, then you hold it like this so that the yellow corner on the right is facing you, then you do this. If you have a nearly complete white yellow side, but the headlights are facing you, then you do this. Once you finish OLL, then we go to PLL, which means to permutate the last layer. Once in total there are 21 PLL cases, which can be a lot for a first person who's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. So over here, we will go into 2-look PLL, where there are far less algorithms to memorize. The sheet for the PLL algorithms will be in the description below. So what you want to do is look for headlights. Basically, the colors are the same. So over here, I have one, I don't, and I don't. If you do have headlights, you want to put them to the left, and you want to do something called T-perm. The algorithm will be shown up here. If after you do OLL and you have no headlights, then you can hold it any way you want and do this algorithm. This should orient all of the corners and give you 1 out of 4 cases. You can get this case where this piece needs to go here, this piece needs to go here, and this piece needs to go here. So in an anti-clockwise direction. If you have that, then do this. If you have it the other way around, so this needs to go here, this needs to go here, and this needs to go here, then you do this algorithm. If you have that these two needs to be swapped and these two needs to be swapped, then you do this algorithm. If you have that these two need to be swapped and that these two need to be swapped, then you do this algorithm. And that's it. After you do these 4 steps, your Rubik's Cube should be solved.